You are becoming adept at doing a lot of things now, factoring, solving equations, and a lot of businesses come to the college and they say, we don't want students who can just solve for X or solve for Y or put things together, factor, collect like terms. We want students who can actually take and apply these things to the things in the outside world. More and more businesses and corporations, they want people that can apply things in real life. So that's what we're going to talk about next, going to the graphics, is problem solving, a little bit more with a little more complex things. So let's look at some things we talked about in the past. Remember steps for problem solving from previous lessons. 1, always know what the problem is asking. 2, assign a variable or variables to what is unknown. 3, try to get to that equation in disguise. Translate the problem into an equation. And 4, solve the equation and answer what was being asked clearly. All right, so let's look at some problems here. Example number 1. The sum of the square of a number and 4 times the number is 21. Find all such numbers. So write that down. Let's look at that. Okay. And let's go to the handout here. Let's go to some examples and we'll show you here. Now, what are we going to let X be in this problem? We always have to define the variable. It said numbers. So I'm going to let X be the number or numbers in this case. Now, reading the problem, it says the sum, which sum means add to me, that word sum, so there's some key words in that word problem. The sum of the square of a number. Now, what would I say? If X is the number, the square of it would be X squared. And 4 times the number would be plus 4x. So this is the sum of the number squared and 4 times the number equals 21. All right, so you have to know what you're being asked and look at those key words and get to that equation in disguise. Look familiar? Yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and bring the 21 over by subtracting it and solve for x and figure out what those numbers are. So problem solving, very important in real life. A nice one here, if I took the outside numbers, 1 times 21, factors of 21 that will give me the 4, it would be xx. And what factors of 21 are 4 apart? 3 and 7. And it would be a plus 7 minus 3. So I really love it when there's a 1 in front of that x squared because those rainbow numbers just go right in the parentheses and set it up. All right, so my 2 answers then would be 3 or negative 7. Okay, so notice, let's go back to that graphic real quick. Notice the graphic in the problem said, find the numbers in that graphic. So make sure when you read these problems, you are reading them correctly. All right, let's go to the next graphic. Number 2, the width of a rectangle is 3 feet less than its length. The area of the rectangle is 18 square feet. Find its dimensions. We're going to talk about some problem solving late into this episode, maybe early into the next one when we come back. All right, so you can see where you can use these quadratic formulas. So let's go to the examples now here. And I always like to draw a rectangle when I do a problem with involving rectangles, and they always usually compare lengths and widths to these things. Some way or another, they're going to somehow tie these together. Now, in this case, it says the width is 3 feet less than the length. So you know which one I'm going to let x be? I'm going to let, based on that last graphic there, x be the length. And if the width is 3 feet less than that, now remember, less is that word, whatever comes first is written last. 3 feet less than x would be x minus 3. Okay. So one thing you need to know in this problem is the area of a rectangle is length times width. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply length times width here, and I'm going to get x times x minus 3 equals the area given in the problem was 18 square feet. Okay, so again, look what we have to do here. Our old friend distributes back, so I'm going to take x and distribute it through here, and that's going to give me x squared minus 3x equals my friend 18 over here. All right, bringing the 18 over by subtracting it, I'm going to get x squared minus 3x minus 18 equals 0. So I can factor and get my 2 answers here real quick. And factors of 18 that will give me 3, it's going to be x minus 6 times x plus 3. All right, two answers, x equals 6 or -3. Now, which rectangle do you want out there? We can't have a negative rectangle, so this is what's called an extraneous solution in algebra. We have to throw it out. All right, so we can't have -3 there. So the answer, the only one that makes sense in this word problem real life context is 6. So we're going to go ahead and call the length 6 feet and the width 3 feet. And I think when you read that back with those answers in there, it'll make perfect sense, and you'll multiply and get 18 square feet. All right, we'll pick it up there where we left off on discussing applications. So in closing, remember what it takes to succeed in mathematics. Practice enough to become proficient. Keep all materials organized, and don't leave gaps by missing or skipping lessons, because math builds from topic to topic. Be motivated, stay focused, pay attention to detail, and always feel you can succeed. Take care. We'll see you next time.